Hey everyone, this is Tony from Greenlight Digital, and today we're going to be talking about footers. We've already covered headers, and there's a lot that we're going to be covering, but today I'm going to talk to you guys about everything that you can do with footers using Thrive Theme Builder and Thrive Architect. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. So the first thing that you have to do, and that you should have already done this by now because we've already created our header, right? You need to run through the Thrive Theme Builder wizard. And the way you do that is you go to the Thrive Theme Builder here and you run through the actual wizard. And the one thing to take into account is, just like we did with our header, if you actually pick a template for your footer that actually kind of resonates what you're trying to build, it's probably going to save you some time in the long run. So again, you're going to go to the site wizard and you're going to just power through the wizard if you've not done this already. Again, these are just templates that you're picking. You're obviously going to be uploading your logo, your brand colors, your header, your footer. You're going to be picking basic templates. In the case of your footer, it's okay if you don't really know what you want your footer to look like. Just or actually, if you don't like the actual template style that Thrive gives you, that's fine. Again, I'm going to teach you how to customize it however you want. The one thing that you should probably take into account, though, is that if you pick a footer, like I said, that actually kind of resembles what you want your footer to look like, it's probably going to save you some time. So in my case, I picked this footer. I think it's clean. It looks good. But you know, if you think that you don't, if you think that, or let me rephrase that, if you think that you're going to be using social icons in your footer, it's probably a good idea to pick a template that actually uses social icons. But like I said, don't worry. I'm going to teach you how to do or replicate any kind of footer that you like for any website that you see out there that you feel like you kind of want to match that same design. That's no problem, but it will probably save you some time, like I said, if you pick a template that kind of looks like the footer that you're trying to build. So in my case, I just picked this one. It gives me a nice opt-in form. It looks clean, it looks simple, it looks slick, and it was the one that I picked. I don't even know what I want to, or what I want my footer to look like. So, you know, I'm just going to show you guys how you can navigate and power through these footers in Thrive Theme Builder. Anyways, hopefully this video is not going to be crazy long like the one for the headers where I spent half an hour talking to you guys. But anyways, so now that you've actually picked your template, how do you actually customize it? So, just like with headers, there's two different ways you can do this. The first one is actually going to the global elements section inside your Thrive dashboard. So if you go to the Thrive dashboard and you go to if you go to Thrive dashboard, and you go to global elements, I'm going to open this up in a new tab. Just kidding, it's going to open itself up here. All right. Here we're going to have our content templates, our symbols, our headers, and our footers. And we could just edit the footer that we selected. Here, this is the default footer for the Shapeshift theme. I don't know why that is showing up green. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, okay, so it's showing up fine. Now, the problem is that if you try to edit your footer from within the global elements section, you don't actually get to see what the footer looks like in contrast with the rest of the site, which is why I personally like to edit my footers right from within the homepage, just like we did with the header. So if you go to your pages and you edit the actual homepage that Thrive gives you, in my case, I renamed my homepage already, but yours should probably say generate at homepage. And you click Edit with Thrive Architect. This is going to open up your homepage, and here we can just scroll down to our footer, and here we can click Edit Footer, and now we can just start to customize this however we want. The footer should probably be the same throughout your site. I mean, I don't think there's a reason for you to be switching footers. I can see how there could be potential reasons for you to change headers, because depending on the hero section that you're using, it could be a header could look bad if you're using a transparent header, for example, that's over your hero section. If the font is white over a black hero section or a dark hero section, the header could look great. But if in one of your pages your hero section is light and you're using a white color typography, your header is probably going to be non-readable, and you probably want to be combining different headers throughout your website, right? One header that actually uses dark typography colors for lighter hero sections, one that actually uses white typography colors for darker hero sections, but your footer should probably be the same throughout your entire site. There could be exceptions. Now, your bottom section that Thrive actually gives you could be different, and we'll get to top sections and bottom sections probably in the next video, but your footer should probably be the same throughout your website. And here, I mean, it's just a matter of actually playing with Thrive Architect. I mean, you can start navigating through columns. If we go to, I'm going to actually open up a new page here real quick in Google. Hold on. All right, so I just went through a couple of links here. I literally typed in Google top footer designs, and here's what I'm seeing. I'm here. Let's just jump into some of these and see if we can open up a few of these. And I'm going to teach you guys how you can replicate any of these, because it's actually pretty easy. Let's just open up this one, for example. See if we can open up that one, and that one, and hell, let's just do, oh, this one looks a lot like Thrive. And this looks like a busy one. Let's actually analyze some of these. Awesome. So the first thing that we're going to do is, and the first thing that I want to teach you guys, and this is, you're going to see that the methodology towards building anything with Thrive is going to be very similar. It doesn't matter if you're actually building a footer or a header or a bottom section, a top section, or your actual in-page content. The methodology, once you actually crack it down, it's pretty much the same throughout whatever you're trying to build. And the sooner you actually start to learn how to do this, the better it's going to be for you. Here's the thing. Templates are great. I love templates. Templates are probably going to save you some time every now and then. The only problem is that 99% of the times that you're trying to build a website, templates are never going to be enough to satisfy your needs. They're just not going to function for you because maybe the layout doesn't match what your client is asking for, or maybe it could be anything, right? Templates are never going to satisfy your needs. They're never going to give you a crystal clear solution that's going to meet or solve your problems. They're just not going to do that. I mean, I've tried, trust me, it would be a miracle to just have Thrive give us templates for any kind of website for any of our clients, right? But that's not going to be the case. This is why Thrive Architect is such a great tool, because it actually lets us build anything that we want, however we want. So yes, templates are good, but don't get stuck into templates, because templates are not going to be enough pretty much always. I mean, you're going to have to do some of the work yourself. With that said, let's actually start to analyze. I'm actually going to be analyzing this with you guys. So here's the thing. Templates, just like any other element in your website, templates are a matter of combining columns and playing with column layouts, okay? If you take a look at any website out there, it could be a publication site, it could be a blog, it could be an e-commerce store. Most websites consist of playing with columns, column layouts. The sooner you actually start to understand how you can play with the layout of a site using columns, the sooner it's going to be for you to actually understand how you can build anything. And let me see if I can actually make a little more sense of myself with some examples. This footer, for example, the one that Thrive built, it's just a matter of actually playing with columns. We've got one footer that is one background section, right? And inside this footer, we've got two series of two columns. We've got two columns here, right? This is one column. This is another column with one lead gen. This is just a column with some text. Now here we've got a very thin divider, right? And then here we've got another set of columns. It's just columns. Columns are the answer. And this can be applied to pretty much anything. Let's actually start to analyze some of these other websites that I just opened up, right? Let's see. Griffland. Don't know who you are, but thank you for cooperating with my video. All right. Griffland. Grifolin's footer is just another set of columns. We've got one background section here, right? And we've got a set of 2 columns. And in one column here, we've got one text element. Over here, we actually have, they could have done this in a variety of ways. This could be all, the second line over here could have been all one text element with some spacing in between. And you can actually insert dots as text elements. I think that in a Mac, if you do Option and the number 8 key, that will actually let you insert a dot. But another way of actually doing this is using columns. They could have split this up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different columns. And they've got one column here, another column for the dot, another column for the text, and another column for the dot and the other text. It's just a matter of playing with columns. And the way you keep doing this is, well, here you've got another text element, and here you've got another text element. So essentially you have a series of columns here, and then here inside this column you've got one text element. I'm not sure if I can type with this thing. Text. Here you've got some more columns. You can actually have columns inside columns. That's the thing. And that's how you actually start to play with different layouts, right? You start combining columns, different sorts of columns. And here, this other column is just essentially some more columns, right? You've got one column here, one there, one there, one there, and one there. And if you actually put columns inside content boxes, you can actually limit the width of those content boxes. So I'm actually going to try to see if I can do if I can do something like this. So for example, if I were to want to make, these are just columns, right? Well, in fact, this is actually a custom menu. So there are specific elements where you don't actually need to use custom menus. For example, columns, because Thrive actually splits those elements into columns for you. So for example, a custom menu is just a series of columns, right? You've got one column here, one there, one there, and one there. The only problem is that you're not actually inserting these into columns, because you can just insert a custom menu, and Thrive splits that up into columns for you. The same way when you're trying to create a lead gen form like this one, for example, these are just columns, right? You've got one column here and one there and another one here, right, for the button. And these are 3 columns, but you don't actually have to insert these things into 3 different columns, because Thrive makes it super easy for you to just insert a lead form. I can't find it. Lead form. It's probably lead generation form, right? And that actually just inserts the columns for you, right? In this case, it's a vertical lead gen form, but if it were horizontal, we could just edit the form elements, put this to the right, and boom. You would have 3 columns that look that consist of a lead gen form, but I didn't actually create columns for these, right? And so that's a cool way of doing this. Anyways, if let's just say that I wanted to keep things more tied up. For example, here they've got a series of columns that are not spread out amongst the actual 2 columns, right? And I'm not sure if I'm making any sense. Let me draw this again. You've got 2 columns here, right? One column here, one column here. But these 3 columns, they're not spreading out to cover the entire width of the column. They're only covering up a specific amount of width, because they don't want the actual thing to be so spread out. It looks kind of tied up and neat, right? We can actually put columns inside content boxes. And so if we put these into a content box, for example, in fact, let me actually insert columns here. I'm going to insert 2 columns here, if it lets me insert the columns. Perfect. And here we're just going to try to replicate this real quick. So we've got 2 columns, right? And now, gosh, I've got something in my eye. Okay, I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. All right, awesome. So, so we've got 2 columns, just like in this website. And now we're going to insert a few more columns here. Let's just say that we're going to do 4 of them. And instead of actually having my social channels as text, I'm going to just use icons. So I'm going to do icons. And I'm just going to I'm going to type in random icons just for the sake of saving myself some time. Awesome. And I'm going to make them smaller. Awesome. So we can duplicate these. And boom. Let's just assume that these are different social channels. We could see how these are spreading out to cover the full width of the actual column. How do we actually tell Thrive to not do that and to actually keep them nice and tied up? You use content boxes. So we can actually put those columns inside a content box and limit the width of the content box itself. And boom, if we go to content box and we tell Thrive, hey, keep these columns inside a content box, which its width is going to be a maximum of X amount of pixels. This is up to you to decide. And now we can play with the layout of this, align them to the right, centered, to the left. And this is how you essentially do what these people over here are doing, right? I think it looks super cool. It looks clean. It looks definitely better keeping them nice and tied up rather than having them just spread out all over the column. If I put them, I mean, that just kind of looks ugly. Doesn't look neat or clean. Anyways, let's try to analyze at least one more. Let's see which one I like. This one's kind of just, I can kind of do this one over here real quick. This is just, again, 1 column here. And alright, so we got 1 column there, another column here, and here these are just text elements. Here again, this is probably just the navigation menu rather than columns, and this could have actually been a navigation menu again, rather than columns. But you can do, I mean, I would probably do these as navigation menus rather than columns, but you could have done them in any way. These are these look like this to me looks like there are columns here, or it could have just been, this could have been a column, this could have been a column with an icon, and this could have been another column with text element. Again, I'm trying to show you how you can do this with Thrive. I don't work with any of these people. I don't know how they built their websites, but I'm telling you how you could do something like this with Thrive. You could have 1 column here, 1 column there, and another column here, so a 3-column layout. Make this inner column super thin. Stick an icon in there, and these are just text elements, right? That's one way of doing it. Awesome. So that's that for this website. It's not really that complicated. Over here, let's see what we got. Oh, here we don't even have a footer. It's gonna make me scroll down forever. All right. This is straight up I hate when websites do that. You can't even see the footer. Don't do that. I hate it. I really, really hate that. The auto loading, more posts. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother with that website. I hate when people do that. Let's see. What about this one? Oh, this looks like another website that keeps doing that. Let me see if I can scroll down faster here. Awesome. So this is straight up another. This is actually this kind of footer would probably take you a little longer, mainly because take a look at what's happening here. Thrive. This is probably a good example of how you can actually use some of Thrive's templates to save yourself some time, because Thrive has footers that look like this. In fact, let's actually analyze this real quick. This is just a footer. All right, we got one background section here that's a footer. Awesome. Here we've got an image, which is a logo. And here we've got one column, one column, one column, and another column. So a 4-column layout. Awesome. And then inside the 4-column layout, this actually gets fun, because here we've got, this looks like a vertical navigation menu. This looks like another vertical navigation menu in column number 2. Here we've got 2 different navigation menus in column number 3. And here, hold on tight, because this actually gets fun. Here it looks like we've got, so these are actual headings. These are headings, text elements, not part of the navigation menu, right? And here we've got a text element inside column number 4. Inside column number 4, we've got another set of 2 columns. We got 2 columns here and 2 columns here. And inside column number 1, we've got a simple image. And inside column number 2, we've got 2 images. And then you divide those up with a divider and replicate this. You can literally clone this element and stick it underneath the divider. Cool stuff. And here you could just do columns, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-column layout. I don't know. Hopefully this helps. I'm trying to show you how you can kind of replicate any footer that you want using Thrive. I'm not actually building any of these, but I mean, I could potentially show you how you can get started. But in fact, you can probably go to Thrive dashboard. Let's go to the wizard again. And let's just say that we want to build this one, right? This looks like a nice footer. Let's say that we want a 4-column layout with a logo and different navigation menus. Thrive Theme Builder has a few templates, I think, that actually do this. So if you go to the site wizard and you go to your footer section, you can change the footer that you originally selected. And let's pick one that looks like that. So this one kind of looks like that, right? And you could probably do it with that one. You could probably do it with this one. But the one that looks the most like the one that we were analyzing is probably this one. So let's actually try to replicate it. Maybe not the whole thing, but I'm going to show you how you can do this a little bit. I don't want this to be a 1-hour video. But anyways, let's try to replicate this. So here we've got a 4-column layout, which Thrive already did for us, which is great. Let's actually head over to the actual footer. I'm going to try to replicate it from within the global elements section. Oh, I think I didn't choose it. That's something that you had to do with Thrive. If you go to the footer and you don't actually click choose, like here, which I forgot to do, it won't actually do it for you. So don't forget to click choose. If you go to, let's actually go to Thrive dashboard, global elements, and footers. Let's edit the footer. Let me drink some water real quick. Awesome. Awesome. So this is okay. So this isn't an actual menu. These are dynamic elements, dynamic lists that Thrive is letting you insert. I think we're not going to be doing any of those. Actually, you could actually do that. That's a great. This is something that they just introduced with Thrive Theme Builder, the ability to insert dynamic lists. And they're essentially navigation menus, right? I mean, if you get a dynamic list that lists your pages, well, then it's essentially a navigation menu that displays your pages, right? And if you do the same thing for posts, categories, well, it's essentially the same thing. It's a navigation menu that shows your categories. Great, awesome. So that's how you get these things done, right? You go ahead and insert from within Thrive Architect. You could just get rid of that one, and let's just say that we want to change this to a dynamic list of, don't even know what options we have here. Let's see. Dynamic list style underneath this text element. And we're going to insert a list of, let's just say, recent comments or recent posts. Awesome. Perfect. So that's one. I probably would try to edit the list item, see if you can try to, you don't really get, oh here, if you go to, yeah, I was going to say I don't like this huge margin to the left. You can just get rid of that. That looks much cleaner. And I only have one blog post in this site right now, so that's as far as it's going to go. But let's try to see if we can replicate this section here. So this looks, let's actually try to get rid of these, and let's try to build something like that. The first thing that I would probably do is insert some text in here. Awesome. And now that we have our text, we need a 2-column layout. Perfect. It's going to be exactly identical in width. And here we need images. We need one image there. Let's just use, let's try to use that one. My COVID image. Try to insert it. Medium size. Awesome. And we're going to replicate this for the sake of keeping it simple. We need this to be 50%. Height 50%. And let's just assume that this is an App Store icon, okay? And we can duplicate that. Now, I don't want these huge, crazy-ass margins. Perfect. I don't want the top margin here. Perfect. And I would probably want some spacing in between them. So, maybe 5 pixels. Boom. And that's how you would kind of start. Now, of course, I'm doing this with crappy images. For example, I probably need a more squared image here, but I'm not going to download it. Now it's just a matter of inserting a divider. Awesome. Let's get rid of all of these crazy margins and paddings. Actually, wait, I probably want that. It's here. Perfect. There's probably some margins in here too. Yep. Figured. Thrive loves those margins. Let's get rid of the thickness of the actual divider. And here we can just clone these columns and put them underneath the divider. And it doesn't look as neat as the other website because the proportions of the images don't look as aren't exactly as ideal. They're not the actual proportions that we need. But if you can, just for the sake of practicing, you could just actually download these images and try to build them, and try to build something like this with Thrive. I mean, to be honest, the more you practice, the better you're gonna get. But at least you get the methodology, right? It's not that hard. Anyways, I think this is it for this video. I think this was insightful. It was probably a long ass video again, but anyways, hopefully you found it insightful. Hopefully it's helpful. Again, if you want to see specific things, if you want to be like, hey Tony, I need to build this live on camera because I need to know how to do this, just reach out. I'm down to doing anything like that, so let me know, okay? And I'm gonna go back to the theme builder real quick, to the wizard. This video is just never gonna finish, right? And I'm gonna go to the site wizard, and I'm gonna go to footer, and I'm gonna go back to my original footer. I don't really want to use something like this, so let's go to our clean design here. Perfect. Let's choose this footer, and boom, voila, here we are. Awesome. So this is gonna be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you liked it. See you guys in the next video. Bye.